This week, Mimi and Kiddo are on a special adventure, but our team has a fantastic treat for you, a Hanukkah story from Bomba the Elephant. Enjoy and visit pjlibrary.org/Hanukkah for more.
Oh, excuse me. Hi there, my name is Bomba, and you are? What a lovely name. You strike me as a very strong and brave kiddo, is that right? Yes, well, I'm not brave. Never have been, which is strange because, well, I was a warrior elephant, or was supposed to be one at least, in the Greek-Syrian army of long ago. That's a great question. You're a smart kid, that's for sure. No, I don't know what I was doing in an army either. Somebody said something about free peanuts, and next thing you know, I've got a battle wagon hooked up to my back. And don't spread this around, but it was the leader of the enemy, Judah Maccabee, who taught me to be brave and to stand up for what is right. Oh, you know him? I mean, you've heard of him? Shall I tell you the story? No, not that story, but that is a good one. The big story. The story of the miracle of Hanukkah. Okay, settle in. Here goes. Long, long ago, before you were born, before your parents or their parents or your great-great-great-great-grandparents were born, in the land of Israel, in a city called Jerusalem, there was a beautiful and sacred building, the Holy Temple. The temple contained many beautiful objects, including a tall golden menorah. Unlike menorahs of today, this one had 7 rather than 9 branches and was lit not by candles or light bulbs, but by oil. Every evening, oil would be poured into the cups that sat on top of the menorah. The whole building would glow with shimmering light. It was stunning. I remember it so well. I can almost see it. And this holy temple was the most special place on earth for the Jewish people. But a wicked and angry king named Antiochus came to power. Seriously, kids, he was really mean. Antiochus declared himself ruler over all of the land, and he did not like anyone who didn't worship as he did. I do not like anyone who is different from me. Take the Jewish people, for example. They read the Torah, celebrate Shabbat, and their God is different from the gods I worship. I don't like it, not one bit. Yes, that was what he really sounded like. Oh, you want to know what happened next? Well, you're not going to believe it. Antiochus ordered the Jewish people to, well, stop being Jewish. I know, and it gets worse. He sent his troops into Jerusalem, riding elephants just like me, and ordered the soldiers to ransack the temple. Ransack? Good question. It's a big word for make a giant mess. They brought mud and garbage into the temple. They broke furniture, tore curtains, and smashed the jars of oil that were used to light the menorah. Right? But what could I do? I'm just an elephant. But there was a very brave man, a leader among the Jewish people. His name was Judah Maccabee. He was strong and courageous. And did I mention brave? Oh, I did. Okay. Judah Maccabee and his followers were known as the Maccabees. He said to the people, "We must think of ways to make Antiochus leave Israel. Surely there must be some other land he can conquer to stop bothering and bullying us." Sorry, I still get all worked up thinking about that great speech. I could hear it from blocks away. At first, Judah's followers weren't so sure about his plans. The king was pretty powerful. He had lots of soldiers, and, he was in charge. He had lots of elephants to help him fight. This is where the story gets good. Judah knew that with careful planning and strategy, the Maccabees would be able to defeat King Antiochus. You want to know if they did? Oh, yes, they did. First, They trained. Then Judah shared his plans, and his warriors were nervous. But Judah Maccabee taught them about Omatzlev, courage of the heart. It took a long time, and they had to be very, very clever, hiding behind hills and doing a lot of surprise attacks. But eventually this tiny but mighty group drove Antiochus and his army out of Israel. And as he lost, Antiochus was like, "No!" As soon as Antiochus and his soldiers were gone, the Jewish people hurried to Jerusalem to clean their temple, and, oh brother, what a mess! Oh, you want to know how messy it was? It was messy. It was bad, real bad. Like the biggest mess I've ever seen, and that's saying something, because I'm an elephant. Back in those days, I literally lived in a barn. The beautiful menorah was gone, and the floor covered in trash, broken furniture, jagged pieces from the shattered jars of oil. They got to work cleaning up right away, and since the Greek-Syrian soldiers had all fled, well, I just hung around to help. Oh yes, elephants were quite good with heavy lifting and interior design. The Maccabees built a new menorah. At first, they were worried that they would not be able to light it, but they searched and searched until, at last, they found one tiny jar of oil, enough to give light for just one evening. The Maccabees knew that it would be at least 8 days until they could prepare more oil, but they lit the menorah anyway. To their surprise, this little jar of oil burned for 8 days. First, their small group had chased away the king's large army, and now the tiny jar of oil had lasted for 8 whole days. It was a miracle. And that, my new friends, is the very true, very real story from someone who was there. Me, Bomba the elephant. If you'd like to learn more, visit pjlibrary.org/Hanukkah. HANUKKAH. Talk to you later.